Have you ever wondered, who am I really? What is that part of you that remains unchanged through all your experiences? What is it that makes you aware of your thoughts, your feelings, and your very existence? Dear seekers, today we are gathered here to explore a very profound question, which is, what is consciousness? And even more so, what is its real nature? This question is not just for philosophers or mystics, it is for every single one of us. Because without understanding consciousness, we do not understand who we truly are. You see, consciousness is something so subtle yet so pervasive. It is like the fragrance of a flower. You cannot touch it, you cannot hold it, yet its presence is undeniable. We all have a sense of I am. Right now, as you listen, there is an awareness, there is a knowing that you are here, that you are listening. This is consciousness. This is the pure witness that resides within us all. It is beyond thought, beyond emotion, beyond all these layers we identify ourselves with. Buddha often spoke about consciousness in an indirect manner, as he was a master of negation. He would not tell you what consciousness is, rather, he would tell you what it is not. He said, it is not your body, it is not your thoughts, it is not your emotions. And why did he do that? Because the moment you start labeling it, defining it, you then confine it. Consciousness is like the open sky, which is limitless and boundless. Imagine if you try to capture the sky in a box, it loses its vastness. Buddha wanted people to experience that vastness. There is a story from Buddha's life that sheds light on this. Once, a disciple came to Buddha and asked, Master, what is consciousness? What is this awareness you speak of? Buddha looked at the disciple and said nothing. Instead, he raised his hand and with two fingers he plucked a flower from the earth. The disciple's eyes widened in confusion, and a murmur spread among those gathered. The atmosphere grew tense as if the world had paused to witness this simple act. Buddha held it up in silence, and there was stillness. There was a deep, profound silence. The disciple was confused, as were the others around. But there was one monk, Mahakashyap, who simply smiled. He understood. Buddha smiled back, and in that moment, something passed between them. Something beyond words, beyond explanations. This was the first transmission of Zen. Buddha was showing that consciousness cannot be explained. It can only be experienced. It can only be pointed to in silence. We are so caught up in words, in definitions. We want everything to be neatly packaged so that our minds can grasp it. But consciousness is not something the mind can grasp. The mind is too small, it is too limited. Consciousness is vast, it is the very ground of being. It is like trying to fit the ocean into a cup. The cup will break, or the ocean will simply overflow, because the nature of the ocean is vastness. Another Zen story comes to mind. A young monk asked his master, Master, What is the true nature of consciousness? The master smiled and said, "Go outside and listen to the sound of that stream." The monk went outside and he could hear the gentle murmur of water flowing over rocks, the rustle of the wind in the trees. He listened, and as he listened, something within him began to shift. He came back to the master and said, "I do not understand, but I feel at peace." The master said, "That peace is consciousness. It is always here beneath the noise of your mind." Dear seekers, consciousness is like that stream, always flowing, always present. Our minds, however, are so full of noise. The past, the future, desires, fears, and countless worries that cloud our perception. This noise keeps us from connecting with the stillness of our true nature. We get lost in endless thoughts, unable to hear the gentle flow of consciousness that is always there, waiting for us to notice. We forget to listen to the sound of the stream within us. We are so preoccupied with our thoughts that we forget the one who is witnessing these thoughts. Consciousness is that witness, dear seekers. It is that stillness behind all movement. It is the silence behind all words. You see, we live in a kind of sleep. We think we are awake, but in reality, we are sleepwalking through life. We are identified with our thoughts, we are identified with our emotions and our roles. We think, "I'm a father, I'm a mother, I'm a doctor, I'm a businessman." But these are just roles, these are just masks. The real I is consciousness, which is pure, untainted, beyond all identities. And to awaken to this consciousness is what spirituality is all about. Meditation here is the door to this awakening. When you sit in meditation, you're not doing anything, you are simply being. Through meditation, you cultivate a deep sense of presence, allowing your mind to settle and your true nature to emerge. It helps in reducing stress, fostering inner peace, and ultimately connecting you to the consciousness that is beyond all thoughts and emotions. You are allowing all thoughts to come and go, like clouds passing through the sky. But you remain the sky. The clouds are not the sky, just as your thoughts are not you. When you realize this, suddenly there is freedom. There is a deep, profound freedom. Buddha called this state nirvana. It is not something that comes from the outside. It is the very nature of your consciousness. It is your original face. It is the face you had before you were born. And this is what the Zen masters say. It is the state where all desires have dropped, all identifications have vanished, and only pure awareness remains. That is the real nature of consciousness, dear seekers. Utter freedom, utter joy, and utter peace. So, dear seekers, don't seek consciousness outside of you. It is not in the scriptures, it is not in philosophies, and it is not even in my words. My words are just fingers pointing to the moon. Don't get stuck looking at the finger. Look at the moon. Turn within, meditate, become silent, and you will come to know this consciousness, not as an intellectual concept, but as a living reality. You see, once you taste this consciousness, once you touch this inner sky, life is never the same again. The ordinary becomes extraordinary. The mundane becomes sacred. For example, a simple act like drinking a cup of tea can become a moment of deep connection. You feel the warmth of the cup, the aroma of the tea, and the taste on your tongue, all while witnessing the experience with full awareness. Such moments, which we often overlook, become profound and meaningful when touched by consciousness. You walk, you talk, you eat, but now there is a witnessing, there is a silent presence within you. This is what Buddha experienced under the Bodhi tree. This is what the Zen masters lived day in and day out. So let us not ask what is consciousness. Let us become conscious. Let us live in awareness. And in that living, the question will dissolve and only a deep, profound silence will remain. A silence that is filled with joy, that is filled with love. So now let us take a moment to close our eyes, breathe deeply, and enter into meditation. Let us turn inward beyond the noise of our thoughts and feel the stillness within. This is where we begin to touch the essence of consciousness, not as an idea, but as a living experience. Together, let's explore this vast inner sky and awaken to our divine, conscious, infinite nature.